Well, it has been said that the worst democracy is better than the best totalitarianism. How true is that? Well, I'll leave you to answer that. It is on this note that I'd like to say welcome to yet another amazing episode of Flipside on independent television, reaching you live from the city of Bronze. Yes, the city where the king is truly king. Now, for those who are just joining us for the first time, Flipside is one program that seeks to put a balance to issues by taking a look at them from different perspectives. Sometimes it gets boring just focusing on one angle. There are different angles to issues, right? So, one of the best ways to enjoy, certain phenomena is by taking a look at them from different perspectives. That way, you'll be able to strike a proper balance. My name is Harry Igboje, and of course, it's my pleasure to have you join me on this episode of the show. Now, today, we're taking a look at something quite interesting. We are discussing politics today, but from a rather controversial perspective. We're taking a look at democracy. Okay, democracy has been said to be the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Now we're taking a look at party politics and how it affects democracy. Party politics in the democratic system. How healthy is it? Now that's basically what we're going to be discussing today. And to discuss this with me are some amazing gentlemen. They are really not new to the whole democracy and politics thing. It's actually a pleasure discussing this with them because I know their pedigree, so I'm very sure of what they can do. Now, sitting at my far left is someone who is a friend and is also very passionate about political affairs. He goes by the name of Williams, ATI. It's good to have you in the house, bro.
Thank you very much, Harry, for having me today.
Yeah, indeed, it's good to have you. And of course, seated next to him is someone who is also in the political field. He goes by the name of Isosa of Yahoo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Harry. It's a pleasure being here.
Indeed, it's a pleasure to have you. Now, let's get started. First things first. How would you describe party politics and how important is it in the democratic system? Isosa.
Well, party politics, two words put together, party and politics. So, party politics is politics that takes place inside a political party. And
okay.
We've discussed, I think one of the episodes of this program, we discussed what politics is, interest, basically. So I think what we'll be looking at there is party, political party in itself, before we look at the kind of politics that happen. So political party is an aggregation or a coming together or association of like-minded individuals, people who share the same vision, ideology, with the aim or with the drive to create social change, to influence policy, to bring about desired change and effect in the society through the instrument of government. That is, the party is used as a vehicle to attain political positions. And then through that positions, you now implement your policies, your programs, your ideologies, your vision to bring about general improvement in the lifestyle or well-being of the people. So that is political party in its ideal sense,
Okay.
All over the world. So party politics, the politics, that is, because it's an aggregation or association of different people, though with one ideology, objective, or vision. So there must be politicking. There has to be give and take here and there. So basically, that's what party politics is about.
Okay, Williams, Isosa just said there has to be politicking. For the layman out there, that might sound like a very high-sounding word. So could you break that down? How would you describe politicking within a political party?
Okay, politicking is a political gathering, is whereby, as you have said, the ideology, they bring people together who are in alignment with that ideology. And then these people are not just there, they want to be in power. So they use the party, which is the vehicle, to attain that power. Now, the politics inside the party is that they don't just put themselves out there. There is a process whereby they call party primaries.
Okay.
So they all declare interests, buy form. Now, in the process of buying form, they are making funds available for the party to also conduct their day-to-day activities and also conduct that same election that is going to project them to stand. That is going to be they are going to project them for INEC to now recognize them better as their
that's within
flag
the Nigerian
bearer.
context, for instance.
Yes.
When you say INEC, that's limited to Nigeria.
Yes, flag bearers of that political party. So these people contest for the positions of which they are going for, either the House of Reps, Senate, being a governor, or they want to be in a president, local government, or being a councillor, or and so on and so forth. So now they throw this thing open for them. That's what that's what would lead to party democracy, internal democracy. So they give a free hand. People go and contest, go and meet the members, various members of the party, various wards to ward, and then to local governments. Then they campaign, and then they fix a date. So in process of doing those things, they start lobbying one another, trying to buy interest. They're also open to also lobby their own aspirants too. They are called aspirants in party. The party environment, they are called aspirants. When they get the ticket, they are called candidates. So they are free to lobby their own aspirants. And then on that day of the primary election, it's called primary election, they go, and then the party members come as delegates. And then they make themselves available. Then they cast their vote for the preferred aspirant they want to represent them. And then after the activities, and then they declare the result. Whosoever is the winner is then announced, return as the candidate of the political party.
Now, if what you guys have said so far is anything to go by, would it be right for me to say that political parties are established for the sole purpose of power grabbing?
Yes, you can put the word power grabbing.
Without sound extreme.
That is not really extreme, but we can say the extent of which they are taking it, if you put to the extreme, is for power grabbing. When you sense of power grabbing, like by all means, grab it by all means. So when you say power grabbing, it means even playing dirty, irregular activities that you see. People come and say, oh, this person bought this, he bought so, paid bribe, or the officials and all that. So, but you can say, okay, they want to be nominated. They want to be as a party flag grabber. But using the word grabbing, it means it's to the extreme.
In the Nigerian context, in fact, I think that word grabbing is once you hear that word grabbing, we are talking about the Nigerian context. But ideally, getting power or getting into government is one of the reason of setting up a political party or even joining a political party. Now, you can only have one party at a time in government or in control of government, maybe centrally. But you need another party to be opposition.
To checkmate.
Exactly. So, political parties, their aim or the reason for setting them up ordinarily should not be about power or power grabbing. A political party's function, like I said earlier, in other areas to drive policy, vision, ideology, and most importantly, to serve as opposition to whichever party that is in power. But you hear Nigerian politicians say that the main reason, the most important reason for a political party is to win election. That they have to win election. So
is that right within the context of politics, basically?
For me, it is not the best idea, because when you prioritize winning an election over the general well-being of the nation, the best interest of the nation and of the people, so you are not greedy, and so that's what leads to mediocrity. Like, this is, you hear in the Nigerian context, this is the only person that can win election for us, or our candidate has to come from a particular zone, a particular place, or a particular tribe for us to win election. So at this point, you are no longer talking about competency. You are no longer talking about vision. You are no longer talking about capacity. Okay. All you are now interested in is that you want to win that election by all means. So even if it is the least qualified person amongst your party member, okay, but for the fact that it's from a particular zone or a region or ethnic group or tribe, yeah, or religion that you feel can win election for you, so you now zero in on that person. So you are not putting
of what the person has to offer.
Exactly, you are not putting your own interests, personal interests,
above the interest of
the country. So we should downplay the issue of power grabbing for political parties. You see, that is even one of the reasons why you see a lot of people gravitating most times to they'll say join the winning party, yes, any party in power. Party. So because our people do not want to, they do not really understand the essence of being a member of a political party. Like when you are a political party, you can either be in government or be in opposition. So even
nobody wants to be in opposition.
Exactly, because we do not understand our role as opposition. We do not understand what we are supposed to do or how important our role is in opposition. So you see everybody, because they want to share from the national cake. Yeah. Once his or her party loses election, before you know, in 2-3 months, you are seeing...
We'll definitely get to that point, because we have a whole lot to discuss as far as this topic is concerned. Now, Williams, he just pointed out some sentiments that are connected to politics, especially, you know, in a place like Nigeria. Now, in a country that is so diverse, ethnically speaking, there are so many, you know, ethnic groups in Nigeria, for example. Do you think such sentiments can be discarded? In a place where you have so many tribes, so many ethnic groups, is it possible to actually, you know, get rid of these, you know, sentiments of where a particular candidate comes from? Because some persons, like he said, will insist that a particular candidate has to come from their own ethnic stock. Do you think such sentiments can actually, you know, be discarded?
If you see, I will give you an example of the 2023 election. That was the major reason that broke the camel's back in the PDP. Yeah. And up to now, they are trying to recover from that. There's no way you can do away with that, because it has been in existence. And it is not even it's not the right way to go, because it has been streamlining.
Is it healthy?
It's not healthy. It has been streamlining, trying to do it with competent hands, best foot forward, people who are capable, capacity, intellectuality, everything that you can put, just where you can obtain in Western world, in countries that you can idolize, that they are having it in terms of leadership. But here in Nigeria, is streamlining these people, making them not to actualize what they are doing because of all these issues. Now, take for example, let's come back to Edo State. At the 2024 governorship election, you saw why a particular party, the people rejected it, because they went and chose their candidate from a certain political, zone. Okay. Senatorial zone, yes, better. You see that. So it has been in the mentality of the people, even in the mentality of the politicians, and even in the mentality of political parties. You see them trying to say, no, it must be from this zone, it must be from this zone. If not from this zone, we are not going to win. We people are not going to accept our candidate. It is not supposed to be so. Okay. You understand? So now we are having mediocrats coming into power because of this. We've been having it over the years because of this situation. And I think it's high time we do away with it, because there's nothing bad for somebody to come from the south or from the east or from the west or from the north to be the president. So long the person is competent. But no, you say, okay, these people, they've done 6 years. This other people will come and do 5 years. This other people will do 6 years. Now, let me use Edo State as an example. Now, it's from Edo Central now. Okay. They tell you that Edo Central will do just 8 years. That when it's coming to Edo State, it's 16 years. It is the sentiment is so. There's nothing that... Why we are part of the people who we are trying to make sure that we break this belief.
The jinx.
Yes. Me and some other of my friends, we we form a pressure group.
Okay.
Went around with this political party, went to their secretariat, trying to campaign today that you people should forget about
Trying
this.
to disabuse their minds.
Yes, forget about this formula, this
All
zoning. It's going to lead us to a situation that will not, now we are there.
Okay.
Now, I'm even among the people now to imagine that political sense, trying to say, okay, you must follow it to the letter. When it comes to the time for election, nobody should come and preach that no, it should go to Susu play. It is definitely coming to a particular zone. And if you are complaining about it, then go and do right the wrongs of 2024.
All right. Thank you very much, Williams. We have to go on this break now. When we return, you take it from there. Please don't go nowhere. All right, welcome back. It's still Flipside on Independent Television. And of course, before we went on that break, Williams was talking about the possibility of a total stranger, so to speak, someone from a different region entirely, coming to, occupy a very important or lofty position in an indigenous place. Do you think it's possible, for instance, for a Yoruba man to ever become the governor of Edo State? Let's speak practically now.
Yes, it is possible. Based
Is
on
it constitutionally backed?
Based on the constitution.
Okay.
We'll talk about the constitution, the right given to that Yoruba man to be governor. It is in that constitution, I don't know the subsection now, but it stated that when you've lived a particular year in that state,
Okay.
10 years to be precise, you are eligible to
become
a citizen of that state, and you can vie for any political position. Now, that is the constitution embarking that particular individual to vie for any political position. Now, we'll come again before I will get to it proper. There are some states, there are people who migrated geographically because of reason of issue of insecurity, wars, and whatsoever, family
reasons.
banishing, economic reasons, a lot of reasons to settle in another state.
Okay.
I can give you an example. There are a lot of settlements in those states who are not originally from a board. As a reason of over the years, they've not taken over they are using the names, not using at the state of origin and all that. It is okay and right, but politically, the people don't want to accept them.
Okay.
Because they believe that is a stranger, total stranger coming to rule over them. It's even the mentality of so many political parties, even the mentality of so many leaders. And unfortunately, still referring to the Edo State election 2024, you saw even a particular candidate who was a victim, direct victim of that situation. The people never want to look if he is capable, if he is competent. He tried his possible best to tell her that, look at my dad, he's a Bini man. But because of the needs,
spent all his life here.
Spent all his life here because he's from a village from Ovia Northeast, slightly affiliated to Yoruba, but they are Benis. You understand? Okay. So because of that situation, they never wanted to even accept him. He tried his possible best to say, no, I'm a true.
From here.
Even they took this same matter to the Oba Palace, where the Oba even had to now say, okay, is this true son of this Oasis AC? You understand? There was a little mistake he even made there. They even still used it against him. So now that aside, but I want Nigerians, I want Edolites to understand that it doesn't really matter where a person comes from.
Okay.
But so far that you can trace the person's history, so far that you can
trace the person's origin.
The origin. Okay. And even see the person's day-to-day activity. Note that this person is capable.
In most cases, contributions to the development of the home state.
Yes.
The state in question.
Yes. To make sure, as far as this person is capable, this person is eligible. Educational-wise, there's no corrupt cases, nothing. He's somebody that I know that you can hold accountable.
Okay.
Who has presented himself, he or himself to be accountable and trustworthy. Then you give him the baton to rule the state.
Okay.
You understand? But now, for this to happen, with the current situation that we're in, it's going to take years.
Why is that? That's exactly what I would like you to take it from,
yes.
Isosan.
Yes.
What's your perspective to this? Do you think it's possible? And if it is, what would it take for us to get to that point?
Well, like he has analyzed, based on the letters of the Constitution, it is possible. It's stated in our Constitution. But frankly speaking, you and I know, yes, it is possible, but it will be very difficult. It will be difficult in the near future because of our level of political awareness. When I mean political awareness now, we've not gotten to that level where we where we promote competence, capacity over the person's tribe,
yeah.
religion, or the village is from. So those are the things that will make it difficult. But when, as a country and as
Before
a people,
continue, I'm tempted to ask, how did we even get here? How did we get to the point where all of these things take the center stage? You know.
Okay, let me tell you, honestly speaking, you are taking me to history now, but let me tell you, honestly speaking, why Nigeria seems to be where it is when it comes to these issues. Nigeria is an aggregation of different ethnic nationalities. You see, when Nigeria, there is actually no Nigerian as a people in the true sense.
Okay.
See that you are a Benin man, Ishan, Yoruba, Igbo,
so it's a conglomerate of different nationalities.
Yes. The white people coined that name Nigeria. Okay. You understand? So, but they did a poor job in actually harmonizing the people they've put together in this union or this marriage. Okay. So that is why you will see not just a politician, an average person, even very learned, will tell you that I'm first a Benin man before I'm a Nigerian. You understand? So we
rightly so, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yes, because if they ask you who is a Nigerian, how do you define
a Nigerian?
Yeah, how do you define a Nigerian? You understand me? So we were told that we are Nigerians. That name was given to us and we accepted it. Okay. So that identity issue is still there. So you see that people now normally, easily gravitate towards their ethnic association or whatever, their identity first yeah. before they think of the brothers. Okay. So it's a big issue that is engraved in our society, that is not even maybe a macro issue. Even at the micro level, if you go to states and even local government, we still have this issue. In one local government, you have different ethnic nationalities, and this issue of dominance. We are more than you. Our population is higher than your population. So we've not really accepted. I think that's the issue, is that we've not really accepted ourselves
as
Nigerians, as one. So we still see ourselves within that ethnic nationalities, that boundary. Yeah. It's just like Nigeria can easily be ascribed like the European Union. The European Union, EU, is a union of different nationalities. You understand? About 27 countries now together in one union, using one currency, the euro. These different nationalities, these different countries still have the right or the choice to continue to use their own local currency. Okay. But the implication is that if I leave Italy with my euro and go to Netherlands, I will be able to spend that euro without me having to change it to the currency in Netherlands. Yeah. Then another thing is that I can move freely within Europe.
Okay.
If I want to stay and look for a job, I will just do a little documentation here and there, and I will be able. That's more or less what happens in Nigeria. We are under one umbrella of a country. I can move from here to Lagos to Abuja. Nobody stops me on the way and say, where are you going to? Let me see your passport or whatever. We use one currency as Naira all over. But beyond there, what happens? If I live here now and go to a state in the West with my name, Oviano, Isosa, Benin, there's no Yoruba appendage or whatever to it. Do you think it would be easy for me to get a civil service job? It would be difficult. So it's a union. We have not really gotten to that stage of true nationhood.
Okay.
So that's why it would be difficult for, like you said, the example you gave, a Yoruba man becoming governor of Edo State.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, that's quite interesting because one would think that because we are one people, because we tout that a lot, we pride ourselves in being one people.
Yes.
You know, so for that reason, we should be able to do things as one. But unfortunately, these are sentiments that we really can't do away with.
I think to address that issue, you see this issue of state of origin.
Okay.
That usually comes up in our national discussion and affairs. I think that's the first thing to do, to abolish it. What is important is your residence. If you want to collect info or biodata about me, where do you reside?
Okay.
Why are you asking me where I originated from? I'm a Nigerian. That's what is important. You've asked me citizenship, Nigerian. So leave it at that, right? Leave it at that. So right. that will go a long way to,
all right,
to
thank
mitigate some
you
of
so
the
much,
issues.
There's more questions coming, but in the meantime, we'll have to go on this break, and please don't go nowhere.
Looking for the perfect spot for luxury, serenity, and relaxation? Welcome to Okonze Hotel and Suites, a sanctuary of luxury and relaxation in the heart of Okada, Edo State. Discover our range of exquisitely designed rooms from standard, deluxe, executive deluxe, twin bed, and our opulent suites, all designed with your comfort in mind. Indulge in both local and international flavors at our refined restaurants, or unwind with a signature cocktail at our sophisticated bar.
Okonze Hotel and Suite. Your comfort is our priority.
All right, welcome back. It's still Flipside on Independent Television, and we're taking a look at party politics in a democratic system. How healthy is it? Now, Isosa, what are the various party systems that exist in modern democracies, and what are their features? What are their key features?
Okay, basically we have, I'll say 3 party systems. One party.
Okay, the one-party system.
One-party system, two-party system, and the multi-party system. One-party system, example, what you have in China, the China Communist Party. I think Cuba also practices that system also. Okay. The feature basically, one party, like you say, is more or less like an authoritarian regime.
Yeah, because I'm kind of curious. How do you have one party? That simply means, you know, whatever they say is law.
Exactly. So
and there's no opposition whatsoever.
So there's no opposition. There's little or no freedom of speech. You are just stuck with them, and all you have to do is to hope and pray that the leadership, the regime knows what they are doing, and they take the country in the path of progress. Those are the key features. But some persons will argue with you that it also has its own advantages or benefits. For example, like we can see with China, they will tell you that real growth and progress needs time and needs what the continuity.
Okay.
That they need. You need actual planning, and you need a system where one person or one party or one group of individuals actually sit down and plan and take the country from stage to stage, because they actually develop the plan. Okay. Unlike a situation where in 4 or 8 years you have to leave, another person comes, okay. You now witness policy somersault and all that. So that's the argument in favor of one-party system. And to a large extent, I think the flagship country or the country embodying one-party system in the world is China. And you cannot say that China is not doing well. The second largest economy in the world. About 50 years ago or thereabout in the 60s, Nigeria and China we're in at the same, almost the same rate in terms of development. They were called a third world country, just as we are still being called a third world country now. But you see that in a space of 40, 50 years or thereabout, one party, one leadership or one system, they've been able to take the country from that third world. You can't call China a third world country again in all sense of.
First world power.
So you understand me. So that's for one party system. Then you have the two-party system, ably exemplified by the United States of America. Even though they have other smaller parties here and there, but in the United States of America, you have two dominant parties, the Republican and the Democrat party. So,
which makes me wonder how much impact those other parties, those small parties, have in the democratic process in the United States.
Well, they sure have impact. Even if not at the national level, but at the state, or they call what they call their local mayors, their district level. So they will definitely have impact. So the key features of two-party system is that two parties are dominant. So there's opposition. There's almost a balance in terms of strength and power. For example, if you look at the United States of America, you see it's more or less like they rotate it. Like you do 8 years. It's almost certain or sure that if the Republican is completing 8 years, that it's the Democrat that will come on board or so. You understand? So there is this checks and balancing, and there is freedom of expression and all that. Then the third part, the multi-party system, which Nigeria purposely say we fall under, where you have so many political parties in this space. But as it is now, Nigeria, we are gradually drifting from the multi-party system to a dominant party system, that which is the fourth now. Like I said, one party, two party, multi-party. There is another one where you say dominant party system. So when a dominant party system, yes, you have so many political parties, but one is dominant and is in charge, and so you can see that gradually now, when people are saying, you hear our politicians say Nigeria is drifting to a one-party system, no, they are using the wrong term. The right term is that Nigeria is gradually drifting to a dominant party system.
So that's a new term in our vocabulary.
Exactly. So you have so many parties, but you actually have one dominant party that more or less is swallowing the others.
The big shark.
Exactly.
All right, Williams, by your assessment, would you say the political parties in Nigeria have clear-cut ideologies, or they're just established for, like I said in opening, the sole purpose of power grabbing?
Like, I will take a little bit from where it stopped, the multi-party system, which make it very difficult for us to see any political party in Nigeria, even the dominant one, that have a clear-cut ideology. They are just being established for power purpose, to take power from the ruling ruling party. Now, currently, they are trying to bring this other little party to now form a coalition with a dominant or two dominant party to challenge. Now, this is now to buttress his point about that dominant party, to not challenge that dominant party to remove power from them. That is to tell you how established that this party are, that they are not trying to even penetrate the other parties to make sure that they remove their best hand. to be in their fold so that other parties can be very, very weak.
Okay.
And now I will tell you, it is happening. They are purposely sending their surrogates to each of these parties to make sure that they wreak havoc on the party, to making sure that they break their structure so that they cannot compete or contest against them. Now, this ruling party, I will tell you, years back, they said they want to do 31, I'll be 32 years. PDP did 16. They challenged that we are going to do 32 years. Now they are approaching 16. Now, for you to now work against this kind of party, you need to form a coalition. Now, let's come back to the question. There's no party in Nigeria, I will tell you for sure. I'm a political scientist. I studied that for 4 years in University of Benin. I will tell you, no political party in Nigeria have a clear-cut ideology. Their job is established for personal interests of individuals.
Don't you think that's a rather extreme statement?
I will tell you,
I agree
it is the fact. It is the fact. They will just come up one day and say, oh, we are fed up. Now, I'm going to tell you, before 2027, new political parties will be formed. Now, there's one on the board, ADA, or Democratic Alliance.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday, and I was highly amused.
Now, they are contesting for, they are going for 2027. They don't even have time now to draft ideology, but they are busy moving around to looking for people.
In a rush.
In a rush, they want to take power. Now, that aside, there are other parties that will be created. They don't have ideology. All they want to do is just confirm the name, put the logo. To them, that logo is the ideology. Okay. You see Papa, Mama picking, we are for the people. You see umbrella, we don't want rain to... You see broom, we want to sweep your... so that logo, since they prefer to use that as their ideology, which is very wrong. Okay. There's no party... First of all, let's come, what is ideology? Ideology is the belief of that political party, of like minds who form them. Now, for example, I myself, Williams, I can say, okay, ISOSA believes that there should be light in 24 hours light. It's like mine. Yeah. They will now write it in a manifesto that, okay, this is what... Okay. When we are in power, we are supposed to deliver.
Based on your...
Based on our agreement, based on our ideology. You know, I'm just trying to give you a layman understanding now. We are supposed to deliver when we get power to deliver, but we will not see us doing exactly the opposite. Of that.
It means that your what's the word now? Your ideology has been defeated.
Defeated. I mean, we don't even know what we want in the first place. We just want that power.
Interestingly, most politicians or people in power, they don't even know what their party ideology is.
Now, I will tell you with more confidence that there are some lawmakers in this country who pay people to draft what do you call bees for them. They don't even know how to draft. Yes, they don't even know how to draft. They never don't know how to draft policies. They don't know how to draft. This is what I'm trying to use. Is what is called on the floor.
Motion.
Yeah. They don't even know how to. So they just get there. All they want to do is that, oh, you bring somebody, so we shout, no, yeah, no, we don't want people. No, they must not send that money to so. This must not happen. That is just what they want to do. They don't even know how to draft it. So now you use people to draft it and they take the glory. So it means you don't even know the ideology of your party because you are supposed to draft bees according to the ideology of your party. Now, this is the major reason. They are lawmakers are the one that is able to carry the ideology of their party. It's not even the executive. It's the lawmakers that are supposed to carry the ideology of their party because you are supposed to draft B from the ideology of your party. Okay. You draft B for the ideology of your party. The ideology of your party can say, okay, so there should be good roads, there should be agricultural policies, health policies. They are all embedded in the ideology. You're supposed to even call for them to draft bees that will now become
all of that constitutes the manifesto, I guess.
Yes, all of that. Thank you. Now you bring me to what I can just use to crown it up. Manifesto of a candidate is exemplifying, like modifying or breaking down the ideology of his party.
The party, okay.
If you look at advanced democracies, UK, US, and other, you see when aside mentioning the name of the political party, you hear liberals, conservatives. You understand? So
communists,
socialists, exactly. Socialists. Merely hearing those words, you already know what the party stands for. You understand? So, as a person, before you even join a political party, ideally, you are supposed to know where you belong. You check your own your own personal ideology, your vision, your aspiration. So you know, okay, this is this is where I belong, and that is the reason why it is very easy for our politicians to move from one place to the other because they don't even know where they belong.
All right, Taiso sir, we are coming back to that, but we have to go on this break now. When we return, it shall be the final lap of the program. Please stay tuned. Okay, it's still Flipside on independent television. We're taking a look at party politics in a democratic system. How healthy is it? Now, Isosa was just cracking me up before we went on that break, and it actually brought me to something that I had in mind before. You know, there have been claims in some quarters, you know, rumors making the rounds that there are certain political parties where there's what you call party immunity, so to speak, that when you decamp from one party to the dominant party, like you said, all your sins are forgiven. So even if you had corruption cases hanging on your head, the moment you decamp to that party, everything, all is forgiven. How true are such claims?
But a question of how true is purely true. We see it play out every day. Our politicians, our leaders, they've mastered the art of even using it as a tool of politicking itself. That is, the language they use, that this person is a strong man or a strong pillar. He has a huge following in his area or his state. Yes, and I want him in my party. I want him to give me that influence for the next election. Okay, now because we don't have ideology, like I said, because we don't have what we stand for. Ordinarily, if it is in a place where ideology supersedes everything, what I have to do is to try, if it even be possible, to convince him, like try to lobby him or speak to him and make him see reason why he should support me. For instance, in the United States of America, we've seen instances where a person who is a Republican coming out openly to say, for the purpose of this election, because of XYZ, that this person who is a Democrat has stated that he wants to do, because of his manifesto, I strongly believe that he is the right way to go. Though I'm a Republican, you don't even, some of them, you don't even need to decamp. I'm a Republican, but I'm going to support this person for XYZ reason. That's appeal to emotion through maybe policy or even lobbying or whatever. But in Nigeria, very, very healthy. In Nigeria, we don't do that. So what we do, we now weaponize the institution of state, the EFCC, the ICPC, whom ordinarily ought to be neutral watchdog to make sure that everybody is held accountable, irrespective of the political party you belong to. So we weaponize these institutions and say, hey, raise the agbada, look for something. Exactly, look for something. So they bring out, you know, Nigerian politicians, and they must have dirty files around them and all that. So they bring out these things, and now they say, okay, if you join our party, you become a saint. We know of a top bigwig who was a national chairman who made the statement that the moment you join our party, all your sins are forgiven. So it plays out every day. You see a top politician or a former governor who is having constant running cases with EFCC, going to court and all that. And before you know, you hear that he has decamped. And the moment he decamped, within 1 month, 2 months, that case will just die a natural death. So it is happening. It's not healthy for us, but what do? We'll give you an instance. There's one from Kogi. Where is he now?
Anyways, now Williams, do we stand a chance of ever outgrowing this phenomenon? Because all of this seems quite gloomy to me. It seems like there is no hope, and it just seems like we're moving in circles. Would we ever get to a point where we'll outgrow all of these things? Because we really can't get to El Dorado if we do not overcome these challenges. So do you think there is hope for our democracy as far as party politics is concerned?
Yes. Starting from the party, I'll start from the party. The party must first of all understand that they are the vehicle and the determinant of what happens in the country, from the local government to the state, from the state to the national level. If they realize that, then they will be very cautious to making sure that they know how to put their policies to getting the best aspirants who become the candidates and the flag bearer. You understand? So now if they can do that, and then also making sure that they shut their doors to this issue of it must be from this region, a major determining factor in Nigeria. If they also remove that, and then internal democracy, allowing whosoever the people, that is the members of the party, decide to go after, not forming, because in our political party, they are all called the caucus members, constituted of the elected officials, the founding founders and all of that. They are the caucus members of that political party. They have grown into politics to understand these people determine the person that becomes the flag bearer of that party.
Okay.
They try to pseudo it, try to push and permutate it to make sure that that person emerge, even getting to buying people for them, or even getting to manipulating the register. It's almost happened in the political party. I will not use you, I've just given an example. It happened. I saw it clearly. It was even the smartness of a particular aspirant that resulted to make sure that it was free and fair, transparent, and all that. It happened. So if they can, political parties can do away with that, allowing whosoever the person who are the delegate decide to choose to be their flag bearer, because the people of that political party are also members of society, so they know what is going on, and they're the best person to determine who is going to lead them. First of all, they are comprised of people who believe that it doesn't matter it's coming from social region or for that. Okay. When it happens, then you present this person, then the person wins. You discover that they will start righting the wrongs from the state to the national level, because our institutions are weak. Weak institutions. Okay. Imagine this like minds. Now, a particular party feed, let's say, 20. Out of that 20, 19 are into different state House of Assembly, National House of Assembly. Then the last one become a governor or a president. He has his like minds, chosen by the people. They will start writing the wrongs, start effecting political changes, implementing policies. And then two, for us to also have these people emerging into different positions that they are vying for, there need to also be a reform in the electoral process.
Right. We actually do hope these reforms take place and take place real fast. Now, ISO sir, in less than 30 seconds, how would you respond to that?
Well, the last line he used, that, for me, that's even the starting point. There has to be a deliberate electoral reform. But very unfortunate, who is going to carry out the reform is the same people. In that reform, because it's easy to bandy the word around electoral reform or whatever, there are things that are sacrosanct that need to be in that reform. Okay. And one of those things is the issue of direct primaries in political parties. It should be a constitutional matter that party primaries will be by direct primaries. Okay. No other option. Because it is this indirect primaries delegate issue is very easy to manipulate. Then secondly, and most importantly, young people, young persons should infiltrate all political, irrespective whether it's ruling party or whatever, just join the process, join the political party so that you can be the change from that, from within the party. Because the truth is, they are not coming to your house to come and bring you to become candidate.
So you have to make the move.
You have to join them and see a way you can engineer a change process.
Moving from the ranks.
From inside.
All right, guys, I want to say a very big thank you to you guys for your very interesting analysis. I mean, you've opened my eyes to a whole lot of things that has to do with, political parties, primaries and all of those things. And it's very important for us to understand that, just like you've said, the change begins from within. Yes. So it's not something that can happen in a vacuum. The journey of 1,000 miles, they say, begins with a step, right? Yes. Thank you so much once again. All right, it's been Flipside on independent television, and of course we've been taking a look at, political process as it concerns democracies. Now, whether we like it or not, all of this is part and parcel of who we are as a people, and if we are not going to do the needful, then there will never be any positive change. My name is Harry Igboje, and until I come your way again, same time, same station next week, do the right thing, stay out of trouble, and bye for now.